We'll start with the. Okay, let's get her underway here and let's go with the Pledge of Allegiance to start the meeting, shall we? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. I would like to have an approval of the agenda, and if you hopefully you do have the multicolored new after 5 o'clock issued agenda, I would like to have a motion and a second if we can approve that.
You have a motion from
Second.
Bergeron.
Okay, we have a motion and it has been seconded. All in favor, please signify by say hi, and hello, and raise your hand. And
Aye.
One comment,
one comment. Okay, John.
1 hour's notice is pushing the 72-hour neighbor pretty much, I think.
It's
We've had plenty of time to get the agenda pulled together. I think that's pushing the envelope. That's all I want to say.
okay. It's
Hey, Dr. B, I just want to, if I might, Dr. B, just so you know, some of this was ready before, but because Gretchen is in and out, sometimes things don't go out when they're done. So no offense to Gretchen, but what we'll do, Dr. B, is we'll back Gretchen up one day so that if there's anything that is ready to go that's not on the agenda, we'll make sure that you get it earlier.
I just didn't see it until an hour ago. That's all I
Yeah.
want to say. Okay. And
Well, that's when it was sent out. You
Yeah,
got
that's what it
when
came,
sent.
was an
I was
hour.
gonna say, it only came an hour ago. Bill.
Okay,
Time flies when you're having fun.
even when you're not.
Exactly.
Okay. Having done that, let's move on for if I could get a motion for the meeting of January 27, 2022.
So moved.
I'll move.
Second.
second,
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. We're only missing Jack Phelan, but he's not accounted for, I don't think. Is that correct?
I spoke with him this morning and he did say he was going to join us, so.
Okay. I know he does sometimes have problems with connectivity from where at home too, I think. Okay, given that, it's kind of hard to recognize the visitors. I don't see my cat here. I don't know about what's the attendance for the rest of you.
I got some geese and ducks out here, but that's about it.
All right. Are they still flying around, or you got them in the freezer?
Actually, the ice went off the lake yesterday.
Okay. All right. So with that, we'll go with the privilege of the floor. Does anybody have anything that they need to discuss here?
I got one thing, Ed.
Okay.
I know we've talked about this a long time ago, and Harry was going to look into it with Tech Valley being in NISBA. And NISBA had always wanted us to pay extra. And, it just, with only a principal, we don't have a separate superintendent for the school. We have the two shared. And so
Right.
I can't imagine why it won't recognize between Questar and Cap Region, why they won't recognize Tech Valley. And now
Because it's not really a school board, Seth. It's not really a school board. We're an operating board. And both Questar and Cap Region BOCES are members of
Right.
NISBA. So by,
But NISBA, Tim Kramer would never let Tech Valley be recognized. And
When you say recognized, Seth, you're looking maybe to present there, and is that the problem? They won't let you in to present, or?
that,
No.
and just any other benefits we have of that. So it's just a separate school of the two.
No, we have all of our benefits with our home agencies, but it would be they're missing an opportunity if you offer to put on a presentation there and they don't take advantage of it. That's their loss.
It's been on 2 years.
Right, no, they would accept a presentation. That's
They
not a
turned us down
question.
twice, Lynn. They've turned us down twice for presentations.
Well, I would try again. I don't know why they would turn you down for that. I mean, because both
We're not a member.
Westar and Cap Region are members, so by virtue of that,
I've been saying that for years. Harry, you might be able to chime in better.
If I may, just let me paint you the biggest picture. I think right now there is a loss in membership for NISBA. I think I mean they don't have as many.
Harry, you're kind of frozen. I mean, there's only a possibility of around close to 700, maybe a little bit less school board members, and they're close over 680. So they're, the membership is pretty high.
But I think we should send a letter out there and basically say, hey, we're not a separate board. We're just the same board, and we're not going to be paying the fees.
That's what I would like to see that happen, Harry.
Okay, I'll take care of that, Seth.
It should be presented by both agencies.
Ed,
Yes.
a point of history. BOCES, the Cap-Red BOCES, has repeatedly addressed with NISBA the fact that all of our components were members,
Mhm.
and we were therefore being doubly assessed.
Good point, John.
And they have ignored us ever since. So,
Yeah. But,
I would say that there's a fine difference though there, Dr. B, is that not necessarily all school board members of the BOCES are also members of component school boards. In the case of Tech Valley High, there are a minimum a member of the BOCES board. So that's the fine difference between what you just mentioned.
But as Lynn was saying earlier, that there's, was it 680 members out of 700 districts? So you've got pretty much all the districts. And I know we've got.
I mean, I don't know the exact number at the moment.
Yeah, I
because I'm
think
no longer at the top
I
there.
think Harry's right. I think NISBA has lost members. The central, whatever they are, the regional school boards have taken some members away from NISBA in recent years. I would strongly suggest you just have a discussion with Bob and send a letter from the two boards and Gladys and I and ask for admits to Tech Valley because it's a school of Capital Region BOCES and Questar BOCES, and we are both members. That's all.
Yeah, and like I said, we were turned down on that request from Kramer. And so now that he's not there, I think we should try again. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
But again, it should be reinforced with the fact that there's 50 school boards probably that are members of NISBA within the two BOCES. So we have a voice.
Ed,
Yes.
I suggest that we add a resolution to our agenda for tonight, using the Senate 2-hour waiver to incorporate the Anita Murphy's suggestion that the two BOCES fundamentally address the question with NISBA on behalf of the benefit of the Tech Valley High School.
I don't, if you want to do a resolution, that's fine, but I don't think we need one. And we want the two authorities to do it. And I don't know if we need to formalize it. Just needs to be done. Okay?
It'll be in the minutes, right? It'll be in the minutes.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
the discussion of it, yes.
I just want to document it, that's all.
Mhm.
That'll do it. Okay.
I mean, there are some members, because I represented up north too, the Wishwe BOCES that I tried to get to join this, but they wouldn't join, but they would get copy because they were on the BOCES board. They could get copies of everything that NISBA sent out and they would share it with their own board. So they were, just, I guess, saving money on membership, but some districts do that. And I know up north, they did a couple.
In our particular case though, I think it's crazy that Tech Valley it's not a school district. It's a part of Questar and Cap Region, and both of those are NISBA members. There should be no reason why we're excluded. Just
Right,
saying.
no, I agree with you there, and I can't believe a presentation would have been prevented. That they're always looking for presentations, and to me.
And 2 years, this year we didn't because it's too frustrating.
With NISBA, you got the current leadership is new and they're not used to the history that we've faced over the years. I think we just need to bring them up to speed.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else? That brings us to the business items. I have the internal claims auditor report. Any
I'll move them all.
discussion on this need to? Okay, so
I'll move
that
them
would
all.
be the internal claims.
Second that.
Treasurers, the approval. Okay, so that is all 6, A, B, and C. We'll call for the vote. All in favor, say
Well,
aye.
wait a minute, how about if we have questions, Ed?
Yeah,
I mean,
thought
you have the
could slip
budget.
one-
you
thought
have
I
the-
could slip one by you.
Well, in a sense, I guess the budget is really for later. Okay, I guess I can wait till we actually are on the budget item, so.
Okay, so are we going to go ahead or what? We're good to go?
I assume there were
Okay,
a couple of quotes for that audiovisual contract that went out in the river.
Yeah, we worked in Anita, you can go ahead.
Go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, we worked with Dave Versaki. This is a similar quote that was given 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, in March of 2020, the board approved 102,000 for the exact same work, but it was never done
Right, because.
because of the shutdown and the pandemic. And so the equipment is now 2 years older, but Dave Versaki and Mike Slavsky worked on the quotes for us.
Great.
Okay. Do we have anybody else, any information they are in need of? If not, again, we have a motion from Dr. Bergeron for 6, A, B, and C. I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, nays, none? Very good, thank you. Now we are looking at the approval of the 2022, 2023 calendar. I don't think I got that one on my stuff in the last. I don't believe I have that one, but
Well, that
I'm pretty
just came today also.
Yeah, that was in the 5
That was
o'clock.
in with the additions earlier.
yeah, I don't have it here, but it doesn't mean that, I'm pretty easy. You ask me to come, I'll come. No meeting here. So at any rate, is everyone satisfied with that? If so,
I'll move the calendar, approval of the
Okay.
calendar.
okay,
I assume this is a compilation between the BOCES so that so a lot of days are common.
Yeah,
Days off.
Questar and Capital Region BOCES and Wishy and HFM this year. Virtually the same calendar. So Tech Valley's calendar is the same calendar as Questar and
That's good, yeah.
pretty much.
okay. All right, so we have, do we vote on this, have we?
We haven't voted yet.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so we'll call for the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Now, let's see, presentation of proposed 2022, 2023 budget. And I think, Amy, you're going to do that, are you? Or?
Yep, I can do that. So the summary sheet was given and I can share an overview, which is part of my principal's presentation.
Okay,
So I'm going to share that. I'll share my screen now. But so what you were given was an overview of the budget. In my place, really important to note are 3 changes, and they're on the bottom of the overview page. The additions to the budget, 3 of them. One of them is our social worker, who is now Scott O'Leary. He's 0.6, and the shift from him to be from 0.6 to 0.8 is a minor budgetary shift, but a really big impact on kids as far as support for mental health, which is something that we've seen a real increase in need, which is pretty consistent with schools around the area and the country. The second addition is a TA, a teaching assistant, for academic needs that we've been seeing to provide more academic support in and out of the classroom for students. And the third thing is a part-time cleaner. So during the COVID shutdown, we had a full-time cleaner, and we made that cut this year because we didn't need a full-time cleaner. It was needed during COVID for all of the increased COVID cleaning needs, but Tech Valley being such a small building, we certainly don't need a full cleaner. This part-time cleaner is added in the Questar cost because we will be sharing staff to get a part-time cleaner for our building with Questar, because although we don't need a full-time cleaner, we do need more than the services that we get, the daily trash and things like that from SUNY Poly.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
And the last difference in the budget is the student revenue, which I'll go over again in the principal's report. We do anticipate, we were budgeted for 130 this year. We anticipate 143, and so we did look at our student tuitions this year in the budget.
Okay, all right. Going to move on to the report, Amy.
So I'll back up and start with our lottery. So March 15th is our lottery date, the Ides of March. We did our lottery last week. We received 85 applications this year. We do expect 43 as our freshman enrollment. We're sending out our letters this week, so we've been getting a lot of excited calls from our admitted students, which has been, it's always a really exciting time. I do want to shout out, thank you to Shannon Tahoe from Cap Region, our attorney who came and oversaw the process. So she got a little insight into the lottery process, and we really faithfully uphold that process. It's really important to us. So our anticipated enrollment for next year is 143. We were, when I came in last January, we were at 129. We were at 139 this year, and we'll be at 143 for next year. One thing to note when you look at the right side of that grid is next year's junior and senior classes will be significantly smaller. So I do think it's reasonable for us to expect an increase of 10 students each year for the following 2 years. So for the 23, 24, and 24, 25. Because based on our lottery and our district support, we're between 40 and 45, depending on some of our districts. And so we should be increasing only a couple next year because we have a larger class graduating this year, and then a significant increase the next 2 years, which is good news for Tech Valley. Another thing I wanted to share is our Advocacy Day, which we held at the beginning of March. Huge thank you to Julie Marlette, who is our Human Straub representative. She really did a great job organizing our whole day. We had 5 students participate along with Dale Twillis, our foundation board president, and we met with legislative offices along with the Senate Finance Committee and Assembly Ways and Means. And the results are that Tech Valley and the math science grant is included in the budget. And so we're in good shape for continuing to receive that money moving forward, which is great news.
Is that the indirect funding amount, the 17,000?
Yeah, it's 460.
Oh, that okay, but that's the normal stuff. But I mean,
Yes.
there's a,
Uncle Joe's money.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
God bless him.
No, it's not the indirect. It's the annual math science schools grant.
okay.
And so that's continuing to move forward. It's really it's a great opportunity for our students to interact with the legislators. So it's a great opportunity for them, but it really also is rewarding to see the support that we get on both sides of the house. Next, I talked a little bit in my memo about iTerm. Here are just a few companies that our students had experiences in. we had a lot of people coming into our building to meet with our freshmen and sophomores who mostly stayed in the building this year. We were not sure what would happen with our juniors and seniors just based on the up and down that COVID was all fall and the beginning of the winter. But we had about 85% of our juniors and seniors go out on in-person job shadow placements, which was a fantastic experience. As a matter of fact, many of our students managed to get paid internships and paid jobs over the summer based on their shadowing experiences. So this is just a smattering of different places that our students went to. We were able to share that feedback with our sending districts, so they knew the experiences that our students had, which was received nicely. So just a few examples. We had a student go to Proctor's and help produce some of the shows down there, and is going to continue working at Proctor's. They have the High School Musical Awards this spring, and our student is going to help produce those, which is a great experience. We had a student in the bottom left, you see World Strides. So that's an international company that we had a student connect with, and she worked with people in London, and she worked with people in the United States and down in Australia. So she had a 2-week job placement that went all hours of the day as she was connecting with people through Zoom and helping prepare presentations for World Strides, which is a great organization. We had 3 students connect with the American Red Cross, which is going to result in a blood drive that we're going to collaborate with SUNY Poly on. So that'll be great. We had a student go to NARIC, and we'll also possibly have some opportunities after that. And then we had somebody over at Him and Straub with Julie. Troy Web Consulting, we had a student who has a paid summer job through there. We had one student on the top right over at WAMC radio station who also got a job offer afterwards. And this is a student who chose he's a junior, and he chose very different placements for his freshman and sophomore year. And he decided to really follow his passion and is very interested in radio production, and really lit up with that experience. So that was very exciting. And I just wanted to share 2 student spotlights. This is Ava, she's a junior. So she worked and her placement with Jennifer McKinney, who's from the Albany DA's office. Ava she's such her interests are so wide and varied. So she loves computer science, she loves coding, she's on our robotics team. And she really wanted to look into the law field, and she's really interested in becoming a lawyer. The quote that you see on the left is from her business partner. Ava is fabulous and has a bright future. She's intuitive, professional, and appropriate. She had such a great experience, was able to be in and out of the courtroom with the DA, with the assistant DA, which really is an unusual experience for a high school junior. So we were really proud of Ava. And this next one is Noah. Noah did a placement with Seth Harkins from Adirondack Studios. He's really passionate about art. And he actually helped build these templates to help spotlight our students. So he learned how to, cut out a person, which involves a lot of Adobe work with the Creative Cloud. So the quote that Seth gave was, we were extremely happy with the tremendous amount of enthusiasm Noah brought to the group and the tasks he was given. We were disappointed that iTerm was so short. So our students really had some fabulous experiences this year. And like I said, at the beginning of the year, as we were planning iTerm, spending months, we weren't sure what they were able to do. And the last piece of information that I wasn't able to include in my presentation, because it just happened last week, was our robotics team. So our robotics team went to the first robotics competition down at the MVP Arena and came in 2nd place. This was a great accomplishment for our robotics team. When I went down, thank you, Joe Dragone, for the VIP trip down to MVP Arena. So I got a nice tour of all the pits and everything that was going on there. One of the really interesting things was to see the different sizes of the teams. So our team was about 10 students, and there were some teams that had 80, 90, and 100 students. So the fact that our team, with as small as it was, the fact that we were able to be so successful was incredibly impressive, and really just a testament to the hard work that our students and teachers did. So this year it was our best qualifications record, the 2nd time we made it into the playoffs, and our first time making it to the finals. And the finals is 3 teams against 3 teams and a best 2 out of 3 match. And the other really exciting opportunity that our students had, not only to attend and participate in the whole robotics competition, but there was a team from Turkey. There were a few international teams. There was a team from Turkey who flew their robot from Turkey and needed a place and a way to put their robot together when they flew to the States. And so the weekend before the competition, we allowed them to use one of our classrooms to come into our school and put together their robot. And so throughout the competition, our students and our teachers gained a connection with Turkey. We gained an invitation to go to Turkey's first robotics competition. Apparently Turkey's government pays for their travel to go to the different first robotics. I don't think we have that, but really was a great networking experience for our students and our teachers, and really exciting, and I'm sure Danielle can share, but really exciting in our school because we project the competition on the screens all around our building. And during student breaks, they'll be watching the competition. Our staff in our bullpen watches the competition, and it's a really great school spirit event for our school. We don't have sports teams or, for people to rally around, but our robotics team, the excitement in the building was really palpable.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I just have one quick one. Do we have enough, partners for iTurn, or do we still look for any, or?
Every year it all depends on what the students are interested in, because we have some that we go back to every year because we always have students that are interested in those areas, like first playable, for the video game design, and you pretty much always have a student at NARIC for IT. But every year there's a student that we say, we have to find a partner for you. And so we're out looking. This year we had a few students really interested in automotive design. And that's a tough one in the Albany area. There's not a lot of automotive design firms here. And so sometimes we try to take a 360 view of exactly what the passion is and try and fit them in somewhere. But I think that was our trickiest this year, was the automotive design.
Because with Zoom, you could connect,
Exactly. We did, one of our automotive students, we had at Cap Region's CTE program. We had a student over there. We had a culinary student over at Food Services who helped with the food services that comes to Tech Valley, and he helped. He worked with Claire and helped with that. So yeah, we always every year have a few that are a little trickier to find partners with. Our business alliance has been great, and usually when we reach out to people, they're very welcoming. I was very happily surprised this year, especially with Omicron in January and the cases so high. I really didn't know where we would be, and we were preparing students that you probably won't get an in-person placement, but we really had a lot of students that went out, and it's so rejuvenating and rewarding for the students when they go out.
Just shoot us if you have a problem
Absolutely.
getting one, shoot the board, because sometimes somebody knows somebody that could.
Yeah.
I have a friend I went to college with that's in GM still.
Oh, there we go.
So
Okay.
I could have reached out to him and said, who do you have in, design or something like that.
We'll keep that in mind. Danielle, help me remember.
Hey, Amy, considering the open houses and, relationships with districts in both BOCES and whatever, do you sense that districts, because they've received more, received federal money, whatever, or certainly are in better shape financially, do you think that they're willing to send more students to Tech Valley?
I haven't seen that this year. I know Anita and Gladys are working directly with superintendents on that piece of it. I haven't seen that yet this year.
Okay, well, maybe they're also looking at sending more students to CTE programs too in both BOCES.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
which is good also. So I guess
Absolutely.
there is some competition there.
It's all opportunities for kids, so.
Right, exactly.
I think the more Valley becomes a known entity, the more we're going to keep attracting kids, and it's really kind of taken its own, and we've done a lot of things for kids, and it's really becoming recognized. Kids are talking about it. It's a unique opportunity.
I just don't want to keep seeing kids that have been nominated to come here and held back by their home district, but that's a perennial problem and one that I hate. So be it.
Gladys, just so you know, and I think it's important for the board to know, Gladys and I have been working on this for,
You know,
but
forever.
we seem to be getting some traction with state ed, and so we're working hard at the idea of kids that want to come and their districts don't let them come.
And I thank you for your efforts.
That for a long time, Anita, very long time. Yep.
So be it.
It's, you know, the school should have a wait list, really, you know. Our goal has been to get 50 students per cohort, to get to that 200 number. And I mean, we had 85 applications this year, so the student interest is there.
Yep.
Has always been there.
We're getting closer, right? We have the 43 and they're pretty evenly split between Questar and Capital Region. So those are good
That's
signs,
good.
I think.
Yep, that's good. Now, just another few more, right?
That's right.
Is there
Okay, I
any
guess at
chance
this
of
point-
kids coming in like as juniors or, well, not as seniors, they wouldn't, but coming in?
Yes, we do. We have students come in as 10th graders every year, and we've had 11th graders come in new as well.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is there. And some of that depends if a student chooses to go back to district, a spot will open up and we'll fill that spot with somebody coming in. But if a district decides to send an additional student, we can certainly do that because we keep those lottery names. So we can reach back out to those students.
Okay, we've
That's a
morphed
good
somewhere.
May I just, we did not have a motion to approve the budget. Amy went from the budget presentation into the report.
Okay. We'd have had the, okay, we have a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Okay. We'll call for the vote on the
Well,
proposed.
can we ask any questions? Sorry,
gotta
Ed.
get one.
I just was
I
curious.
got
on the
more
first-
money for them.
On the first page, well, on the first page of either version that we have, the one that came in the mail or the one that just printed out, there was, big drop in equipment. So I was just curious about the equipment line. I mean, it's, going from 46,000 to 20,000 something to 10,000 is a big difference. So, I mean, is it true that you just have all the equipment you need, or I just thought that with new students coming in, there is always a lot of new equipment to buy, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing.
No, it's the right thing. When I worked with both Questar and Cap Region, things were shifted to other items based on what we were actually using them for. So if we found that throughout the course of the year, we had to make some shifts, we just made them to be more accurate in the proposed budget.
Oh, okay. Okay. You mentioned the additions, those are fine. The telephone equipment, there was a big jump in telephone equipment on the third page of the original. I'm not sure well, actually it's on the second page of the one that just came.
I know we have some phone purchases that need to happen because we had some phones break during this year that we had loaners. So we're gonna need to buy some new phones this year.
Oh, okay. I mean, because that's a big jump, but I mean, I know everything's gone up in price, so it's
Yes.
kind of hard to judge if some things are just due to inflation. And again, what was the 17,000? I know we had it last year too, or this present year, that the indirect legislative grant.
Oh, that's just, and Wendy might be able to help me with this, but that's just how the money is broken up.
Wendy,
Randy,
if you're talking, we can't hear you.
But
Can
when
you
the,
hear me
when,
now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a miracle. So in the 460,666 grant that you get, there's $17,000 of what they call indirect. So it comes out of the grant and into the general fund as revenue.
Yeah, normally indirect costs, so normally indirect costs, I think I can help you here. Normally indirect costs are used by the educational entity. So if you're talking about Title I grants, for example, it's for administrative costs that it takes to run a business office or do those things. At Tech Valley, that would come out, it would come to Capital Region BOCES and Questar BOCES, but instead of doing that, we just put it back into the general fund. Does that make sense, Lynn?
Yeah, no, it does. It actually does. We used to question administrative costs on grants all the time. Because sometimes there wasn't enough to actually cover it, but that makes sense. I just wasn't sure. Thank you. I
But, and there
appreciate
never,
that.
and there never is, and just so the board knows, that rate is set by New York State. It's not, we can't touch that rate. So if they give you an indirect cost rate of 2.6%, that's what you get. That's what you get off the top of the grant to administer the grant. And it's never enough to really administer it. But for Tech Valley, we put it back into Tech Valley because we don't want to be taking those costs. That gets settled out in the audit report, and you'll see the amount of time and money that each of the BOCES spend.
Okay.
And the other question, well, I think it's only on the original materials we received. It was hard to tell. It's like you're dividing up costs between the two BOCES, but it really still wasn't clear with all the charts. Now, this is what was originally mailed out, okay, with the budget. It isn't the materials today, but it was, I have to admit, and I work with numbers a lot, it was confusing because there are separate charts.
Yeah, that's internal documents, Lynn. You guys weren't actually supposed to get that budget. That's for Wendy and Amy and internal, which is why we set you out the budget that you were supposed to actually get, which is the budget summary of everything.
So it makes sense to all of you.
Well, to Wendy anyways.
To Wendy.
For all of us too.
Well, no, the numbers they were just all over the place. That's why it was just hard. Like we were going to try and add them up. It just wasn't working. Okay, that's it. That's all the questions I had.
Okay, does anyone else have any other questions or needs on this subject? If not, we will call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Well, I think we got enough there. All right, given that, let's see, we morphed into the budget, which morphed into the principal's report and we had a short district superintendent's activity. Gladys and Anita, have you got other things that you need to make us aware of here?
If I could just go first, Gladys. I just want to congratulate Gladys. Everybody, I don't know if everybody knows, but Gladys was elected AASA president, and so she is now president-elect of the National Superintendents Association. And so I don't have anything to add except for to congratulate Gladys and wish her well in her presidency. She's going to get really busy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually want to congratulate Tech Valley High School staff and the students. It's small but mighty. You know, having 10 students on a team and getting that far is a huge accomplishment. So thank you and congratulations. Jen, please bring it back to the staff and to the students because it's a huge accomplishment. And I'm very proud. I've always been very proud of the accomplishments of this school. And I still want a wait list. Thank you.
I appreciated the videos. They were really pretty cool. Actually.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else that we need to be brought up to speed? If not, it's the board's turn. Hit me.
The meeting dates that were sent are fine by me. I mean, I don't know what
was that?
The meeting dates, we received a schedule of the meeting dates for next year, for the 22-23 year.
I didn't.
Thank you. You know, see, it's better to plan the calendars early on.
Yeah, it gives us more time to rearrange them.
Hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else that we've got leaving hanging here that we have to tie up? Summary actions?
Well, just that letter to Bob Schneider at NISBA. I mean,
Yeah.
I wrote it there. That seemed to be the place to have it.
Okay. Very good. If that's where we're at, if anyone wants to entertain adjournment, please say so.
So move.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Night, everybody. Thank you.
Good
All
night,
right, thank you.
Night.
everyone.